Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunattu Saha Viryan Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Looking at the terrible form of Vishwarupa, Arjuna is asking two questions. That's where we left last week. Two questions that he asked. Number one, who are you? First question that he asked is, who are you? Second question he asked is, what are you? When you meet anybody, two questions you ask. First question is, who are you? What are you? Arjuna asked these questions to, who are you? A very important portion of Vishwarupa Darshana. Any crisis shakes your faith. When there is a crisis, what you lose first? In a crisis only, the faith is supposed to be there to support you in crisis. First thing that you lose in a crisis is what? Your faith. Have you ever observed, whenever there is a destruction or a crisis, you will ask questions about, is there God? You always ask questions about God. Are you able to hear me? Correct? Okay. The question that you will ask is, in crisis, whenever you go through a crisis, the question that you should ask is about sin, not about God. What is the sin that you committed that got you into this crisis? That should be the right way of thinking. That should be the right way of asking question. But what does a human being do invariably? Invariably, they'll question God, because that aspect of God is very unpleasant. What is that aspect of God that is unpleasant? All the fellows going into his mouth, getting crushed, getting powdered, and then he's relishing the taste. How can there be a God that can be so? How can there be a God who's destructive? Therefore, the question is asking is, who are you? What are you? Who are you and what are you? Always remember this. You should question sin. You should not question God. But we always question God, but never the sin. Why do we do that? Why do we do that? Because assumption with our actions happen is, I am always right, or I am partly right, other is also responsible. That is where the question will never be about sin. The question is always about God. A spiritual person will not go through any crisis at all. A religious person, a spiritual person will not go through any crisis whatsoever. Assuming there is a pain, assuming there is a crisis that the person goes through, that person will have the maturity to accept it as his own making. He will have the maturity and the inner strength to accept it as it is my own, it is my own making. Because I have made it, because I have done it, I can undo that. I did it and I can undo that also. Most of the time, what happens? You negate God. When this, right? Whenever there is a difficulty, what happens? Understand the definition of crisis. Crisis means negation of God, negation of Dharma. You say there is no such thing called God, there is no such thing called Dharma. Why? Because I am suffering. Because you are suffering, how can you say there is no God? I am pausing here. Venkat, கேட்கிறதோ?
Voice breaking.
Voice is breaking, no? Okay, I'll just log out and restart the router and come back in a minute. அது வரைக்கும் சாண்டிங் பண்ணிட்டு இருங்கோ. குவைட்டா இருக்க வேண்டாம். Keep chanting. Keep chanting. Yes, yes.
अमी च त्वां धृतराष्ट्रस्य पुत्राः सर्वे सहैवावनिपालसङ्घैः भीष्मो द्रोणः सूतपुत्रस्तथासौ सहास्मदीयैरपि योधमुख्यैः वक्त्राणि ते त्वरमाणा विशन्ति दंष्ट्राकरालानि भयानकानि केचिद् विलग्ना दशनान्तरेषु सन्दृश्यन्ते चूर्णितैरुत्तमाङ्गैः यथा नदीनां बहवोऽम्बुवेगाः समुद्रमेवाभिमुखा द्रवन्ति तथा तवामि नरलोकवीराः विशन्ति वक्त्राण्यभिविज्वलन्ति यथा प्रदीप्तं ज्वलनं पतङ्गाः विशन्ति नाशाय समृद्धवेगाः तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकाः तवापि नेत्राणि समृद्धवेगाः लेलिह्यसे ग्रसमानः समन्तात् लोकान् समग्रान् वदनैर्ज्वलद्भिः तेजोभिरापूर्य जगत्समग्रम् वासस्तवोघ्रा प्रतपन्ति विष्णो आख्याहि मे को भवानुग्ररूपः नमोऽस्तु ते देववर प्रसीद विज्ञातुमिच्छामि भवन्तमाद्यम् न हि प्रजानामि तव प्रवृत्तिम् श्रीभगवानुवाच कालोऽस्मि लोकक्षयकृत् प्रवृद्धः लोकान् समाहर्तुमिह प्रवृद्धः रथेऽपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे एव स्थिता प्रत्यनीकेषु योधाः तस्मात्त्वमुत्तिष्ठ यशो लभस्व जित्वा शत्रून् भुङ्क्ष्व राज्यं समृद्धम् मयैवैते निहता पूर्वमेव निमित्तमात्रं भव सव्यसाचिन् द्रोणं च भीष्मं च जयद्रथं च कर्णं तथान्यानपि योद्धवीरान् मया हतस्त्वं जहिमां व्यतिष्ठाः युध्यस्व जेतासि रणे सपत्नान् सञ्जय उवाच एतच्छ्रुत्वा वचनं केशवस्य कृताञ्जलिर्वेपमानः किरीटी नमस्कृत्वा भूय एवाह कृष्णम् स गद्गदं भीत प्रणम्य
இப்போ பார்க்கலாம் என்ன இருக்குன்னு. Let us see now what's going to happen. Some story I started, Krishna said, "Why are you representing me wrongly?" And he took away the internet connection. And said, "No, at least, no, don't write your own Gita all the time. At least say something which I'm also saying." He, Vishwarupa, this is, yeah. He got so angry and he switched off the internet connection. Srikanth. Yeah, அவருக்கு கோவம் வந்துடுது. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஐ தாட் கேன்சல் பண்ணிடலாம்னு நினச்சேன். இன்டர்நெட் கனெக்ஷன் இல்லைன்னு கேன்சல் பண்ணிட்டு Naranja, still not all right. No. So I thought we'll cancel but then Vishwarupa got scared. So I said, might as well come back. என்னமோ ஸ்டோரி சொன்னேன் கொளத்தூர். என்ன சொன்ன? Some story I gave. ரெண்டு question he asked. Who are you? Who are you? What are you? ரெண்டு question he asked. Who are you? I am not able to decipher who you are. I am not able to decipher why are you doing this. Are you able to follow? Arjuna is asking two questions. First, I am not able to decipher who are you, this fierce form. Second, I am not able to understand why are you doing this. So, who are you? What are you means who are you? This form. Second, what are you means we all gave God one job and God is doing another job, isn't it? We gave God the job of the security person, watchman, and God is coming and crushing, breaking, licking, etc. That's not the job of the God. So the question, who are you and what are you? I am not able to. He's saying I am not able to understand your. I'm not able to understand your true. Kaha bhav, kaha bhavan. Bhavan kaha means who are you in this ugra rupa, this fierce form. Second, tava pravritti. What is your purpose? Why are you? What are you? What are you doing all this work? Who are you and what are you? What is the fierce form of God? The fierce form of God is the crisis that we experience in life. And the story சொன்னோடனே தான் Krishna got angry. And how much ever he gets angry, we will do what? Yeah, we will do what we want to do only. He can get angry and show Vishwarupa. Who cares? Yeah, Narayana. We will continue to do what? We will continue to do what we continue to do only. The fierce form of God is the crisis that you experience in life is the fierce form of God. When we say the fierce form of God, opposite of compassion, discompassionately, uncompassionately, I don't know what is that word. So much you will ensure the law functions 100%. The law functioning 100% is the crisis. What is the crisis? The crisis is nothing but the law functioning meticulously. When the law functions meticulously, there is a pain. That pain is the crisis. That pain that you go through is the crisis. And then you ask, I was trying to read, now I got the sequence back. In crisis, instead of asking about sin, you ask about, in crisis, you instead of asking about sin, you question God. That's what Arjuna is doing. He's seeing a crisis. In that crisis, he's not asking about sin, he's asking about God. He's asking about dharma. From this, we derive a message. What is the message that we derive? God is supposed to not give us any crisis at all. Isn't it? That is the assumption with which we live life. Because I am so dharmic. I am so selfless. No trace of selfishness is there in me whatsoever. Everything that I do is, I don't know. Even Shankaracharya, Ramana Maharshi has to borrow selflessness from us a little bit. And that kind of a person I am. Me being that kind of a person, how should my life be all the time? How should my life be all the time? Chennai language and solna maja, isn't it? How should I life be all the time? I don't know how to translate. There are certain, Like there are some Sanskrit words, like there are some Chennai words also, which is so untranslatable in any language. இல்லையா? ஸ்ரீகாந்த் புரிஞ்சிருது இல்ல இந்த மஜான்னா என்னன்னு இல்லையா? Being a dharmic person like me, my life should be always full of joy, fun, maja, partying. How can sorrow visit me? The moment a pain comes, the moment the pain comes, what goes out? What goes out? The faith goes out. The Shraddha goes out. The faith in God goes out. Shraddha in God goes out. This is what is happening to Arjuna, which happens to everybody. So from this, we are trying to get a message. What is the message that we are trying to derive? What is the message that we try to derive? The message that we try to derive is what is making Arjuna get frightened at this. Why is he seeing it as a pain? Why he is not able to understand it rightly? That's what we are trying to. What we are trying to understand is why Arjuna is not able to understand it rightly, or why human beings itself don't understand life rightly. Why we don't even understand life? Because all the time our definition of God is compassionate, kind, beautiful. Suddenly he is saying Ugra. Suddenly he is saying Ugra Rupa. Always we have depicted gods in two ways. All gods have Ugra Rupa and all gods have benign Rupa also. The benign Rupa is Chaturbhuja Vishnu. The Ugra Rupa is Narsimha, isn't it? Who gets scared at the Ugra Rupa? A person who doesn't have the right understanding, the person who has not done proper tapas, etc., will get frightened at the Ugra Rupa. One boy didn't get frightened at the Ugra Rupa. That is Prahlada, isn't it? That's why everybody told Prahlada, you go, you go, you go, isn't it? Remember that story, no? When Narsimha came and how he killed Hiranyakashipu. He just tore open with his nails, isn't it? Not even knife along he didn't use, isn't it? At least movie villains are better, isn't it? They just come shoot in your head next, even before you know what happened to you, you are dead and gone. But Narsimha didn't kill him like that. Narsimha tore him bit by bit. Each and every limb of him is pulled out. Tore open the chest, tore open the heart, and the heart is pulled out when it is beating without anesthesia also, isn't it? Nothing. So that terrible form of Narsimha. And everybody is getting scared. And everybody told Prahlada, you go, you go, you go. And Prahlada is the only boy who didn't get frightened of the Ugra Rupa. He wasn't frightened of the Ugra Rupa. You follow? From this we get a clue. Arjuna gets frightened of the Ugra Rupa. Prahlada doesn't get frightened about the Ugra Rupa. What is the difference here? How can I do namaskara to you who's terrible? He's asking. What is the question that he's asking? How can I prostrate to you who is terrible, who is destructive, who is sugarcane kadigira madri. He takes all human beings, put them in his mouth and crushing them and breaking the skull and everything, and also on top of it, what is he doing? Licking it also. Allah vera irukudunrar. Not only he's not even having it, not only he's breaking and doing it, he's licking it, saying it is so tasty, it's so enjoyable. He's saying, how can I prostrate to a terrible form like this? Is this what you are? Who are you? What are you? That is the question. Who are you? What are you? What does your cruel form represent? What we are trying to understand here in this classroom is, what does the cruel form represent? You follow? What does the cruel form represent? There is no cruel form out there. He's saying there are two aspects to the law: the protecting aspect of the law and the destructive aspect of the law. Understand that God is law, or the Murti, the form of God, is a symbolic representation of the law. First understand that. And law has two aspects. There is the protector aspect of the law, and then there is the destructive aspect of the law. When will you be exposed to the protector aspect of the law? When you will be exposed to the destructive aspect of the law? What if you do, you will be protected. What if you do, you'll be on the destructive side of the law. Very simple. Obeying the law or violating the law. Correct? Eh? Human beings have a belief. This is the foolishness of a human being. Violate the law and seek protection under the same law. How is it possible? You violate the law and then you will go and seek protection from the same law that has told you very clearly, don't violate, and if you violate, these are the consequences. You follow? But the human being believes in what? I will violate, but your job is to I will keep violating, and your job is to keep protecting. And the law says, yes, I am still protecting you only. I am still protecting you only. One way of protecting you is by garlanding you. Another way of protecting you is putting you in your mouth and crushing you. Both are protection only. Are you able to follow? This is Prahlada. This is Prahlada. He says they both are only protecting. The methodology of protection differs. Because of what? Because of me obeying the law or violating the law. Law is meant only for protection. God is meant only for protection. The methodology of protection differs. Is audio and video clear now without any break, interruption? Isn't it? Everybody should hear without any break. Sir, and important point Ram Subramaniam, your internet connection went low, sir. That's why I couldn't. There are two. Law is always meant only for protection. The methodology of protection differs, but law is meant only for protection. You follow? See, even when you put a person in jail, the jail is what? What does jail means? It's not punishment. Putting that person in isolation, giving him some time to understand, reflect, and come out, isn't it? So even that is protection only. So law is that which doesn't know. Law is never intending to harm. Law is never intending to hurt you, cause harm to you. It is only meant for protection. Methodology of protection is entirely dependent upon which side of the law you are in. If you are in the obeying side of the law, one kind of a response. If you are in the violating side of the law, another kind of response. Second important aspect of the law is whosoever you are, howsoever great you think you are, law is universal. There is no partiality. The impartiality of the law is that which makes you to bow down to the law again and again and again. I tell you, the impartiality of the law is incredible. It is that impartiality. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it is. The law functions. You follow? That impartiality of the law. Prahlada is the one who's understood all that. Arjuna is the one who's trying to understand it. Understand the two different personalities here. That's why I'm giving the comparing. Because two people saw Ugra Rupa. There are a lot of people in the stories we have seen them seeing Vishwarupa. But Ugra Rupa, only Arjuna is seeing. Even in the movie, when you see Vishwarupa, how will you see Vishwarupa in the movies also? The ballooned up special form only, isn't it? Smiling, blessing, I will grant you moksha. That form only we have been seeing all the time. Ugra Rupa we have never seen. Or wherever there is Ugra Rupa, we will say, don't go near that, isn't it? That's why they say important books and all, they should not keep it in house, they say, isn't it? Because everybody in the house will get corrected, no? Isn't it? Important books should not be kept in house. Garuda Purana, you should not keep in house. Because if you keep Garuda Purana, death will happen. At the end of the class, we are all 1 hour old, correct? Before the class, let us say 53 years and 1 hour. After the class, 53 hours, 53 years, 2 hours old. Because we should not ask how old are you, we brainwash ourselves to ask these questions. How young are you? It doesn't matter because we don't go in the reverse order. No, you can ask. You can ask how young are you? You can ask. It doesn't make any difference to the law. The law says you are getting older. Now, whether you keep Garuda Purana in the house or not, you are going to get old only. Might as well read it, learn it, and understand it. You will be safe, isn't it? So, if at all some form has to be kept, Ugra Rupa is better in the initial stages. Benign Rupa and all will come much later. Ugra Rupa is very important in the initial stages. Where there is no understanding, quarrel happens. Again, I repeat. Where there is no understanding, quarrel happens. We quarrel with God also because we don't. Where there is no understanding, fight happens. Correct? That's why we say, do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand? Where there is understanding, no quarrel, no fight. Where there is no understanding, inevitably what will happen? Fight will happen. Correct? And we all have enough reasons to quarrel in life. We all have enough reasons to quarrel with every single person on this planet, including mosquitoes also, isn't it? Mosquitoes also we can quarrel. Ants also we can quarrel with, isn't it? Anything and everything we can quarrel with, but we feel like having no reason to love anybody, but we always feel we have enough reasons to fight and quarrel, isn't it? Why? Because pain, because of the pain. That's why even in religion also, there are enough reasons to quarrel in the name of religion. Why? It is based on a very limited understanding of the scriptures. It is because of partial understanding of the scripture. Always remember this. Partial understanding is misunderstanding. Again, partial understanding is misunderstanding. What is the partial understanding of the scripture? God means good, loving, compassionate is partial understanding. With that partial understanding, you look at life, you will come and ask the same question. What is the same question you ask? How can there be, why God created us and also created mosquitoes? Isn't it? Why God created us and created cockroaches also? Because mosquitoes and cockroaches can cause so much of. So imagine only you are there, no cockroaches, no mosquitoes, no enemies. Abdina, nobody will be there except you. But then you can't be all by yourself and you can't be all by yourself and you want everybody also. Want everybody, but you will not understand. You will want everybody, but you will not accept. This is called misunderstanding that arises out of a partial understanding. Now, Krishna, by Vishwarupa, he is educating Arjuna on both the aspects of the law. What is the aspect of the law? You obey the law, you will be saved. You violate the law, through punishment, you will be protected. Now you choose how you want to be protected. Law says, I will only protect you. Don't worry. Vijayarangan. God is telling you very clearly, I will only protect you. From me, no harm will come. I will only protect you always. Choose the method. The method is left to you to choose. What is the method that is left to you to choose? Through pain, you should be protected, or through garland, you should be protected. How you want to be protected? Through pain, I don't want, sir. I don't want to be protected through pain. Very good. You don't want to be protected through pain. Through pain, you don't want protection. You want protection through the other method. Painless, pain-free method of protection you want? Narayana, what's your answer? Yes. Yes. Correct. Yes. Then follow dharma. In the prescription, don't give us. This prescription, we don't want. I will do what? I will do what I want to do, and you should keep, just as I will keep doing what I want to do, you should keep doing what you are supposed to do. What is it that you are supposed to do? You feel like rejecting God, you feel like hating God. All this happens when there is a crisis. Crisis is nothing but pain, and pain is nothing but law. Pain is nothing but an effective functioning of the law. This is the pain is nothing but an effective functioning of the law, and effective functioning because that's what you have asked for. That's what you have asked for. Therefore, religion, spirituality, any word you use, it doesn't matter what word you use. It doesn't matter which word you use. But this clarity is needed. What is religion? What are religious exercises? What is spirituality? What are spiritual exercises? This has to be clearly understood. This understanding is essential to understand how the law functions. Looking at the terrible form, bhakti is getting threatened now. This is the clue here. Looking at the terrible form, Shraddha is getting threatened. You follow? If Shraddha can get threatened, it means in the first place, there is no Shraddha. Again, I repeat. If Shraddha can get threatened, in the first place, there is no Shraddha. Wonderment because he was looking at the beautiful aspect of creation. Wonderment, ascharya, ascharya, ascharya. Fear because terrible aspect of the creation. Everything in life will have both. Remember this. This is the law. Each and everything that you encounter in life will have a beautiful aspect and a terrible aspect. Beautiful aspect means asset. Terrible aspect means liability. Again, I repeat. Beautiful aspect in a asset. Terrible aspect in a liability. Is your body an asset or a liability? Is your body an asset or a liability? எல்லாம் நல்லா வேலை செய்யும் போது it is an asset. When health problem comes, it's a liability. Yeah. You follow? Is it an asset or is it a liability? It is both. It is both. This is the reality of life. This is the reality of life. Are you able to follow? Maturity is, what is maturity? Looking at both. Looking at both coexisting is maturity. If you only see it as an asset part, that is called raga. You'll get excited about it. When you are fit, you get excited. That's called raga. When the health problem comes, you get dejected and you want to get rid of it. That's called dvesha. When you see something as an asset, it is raga. When you see something as a liability, will anybody want to keep a liability? Isn't it? Will anybody want to keep a liability? That's why some of the greatest services they say in the Shastras is safeguarding the life discarded by everybody which is useless, and you safeguard that. Yeah. Old age, asset or liability? Old person, is old person an asset or is old person a liability? Obvious, sir. Vijay Rangan. Obvious answer. What is obvious answer? Liability, isn't it? Kathopanishad starts like that. இதெல்லாம் எங்கேருந்து வருதுன்னா Kathopanishadல it starts. Nachiketa's father was using the cows as long as it was yielding milk, which is an asset. Now the cow has stopped yielding milk. The cow that has stopped yielding milk becomes what now? Becomes a liability. Get rid of the, as long as the person is useful, asset, keep it. The moment the person turned into a thing, liability, get rid of it. You follow? Bhajagovinda. Same concept in Bhajagovinda, isn't it? Same concept in Bhajagovindam also. Bharya bibhyati dasmin kaye, meaning the one The one who wanted to hug you and hold your hands is the one who wanted to get rid of you and run away from you. When they will want to hold the hand and when will they want to get rid of it? This is what it. Are you able to follow? What is the right way of living now? What is the right way of living? This is the right way of living. Avoid raga and don't develop dvesha. Avoid raga and don't develop dvesha. Why? Is world an asset or a liability? Is world an asset or a liability? The property that you have, is it an asset or a liability? Is the body that you have is an asset or liability? The children, are they an asset or are they liability? Exams pass பண்ணனே இருந்தா they are an asset. If they start failing, the fear of failing itself makes them liable, isn't it? Oh my God, useless children, sir. Because they have become liability. Are you able to follow? This is raga and dvesha. Now, world has both. Life has both. World has both. In Vedanta, when we talk about the world, we say it is relative pairs of opposites. Either you accept both or you reject both. Are you able to follow? World is pairs of opposites. Either you reject both and say, I have nothing to do with this and get out, or accept both. But don't make the mistake of accepting one and rejecting the other. If you make that mistake, Ugra Rupa will be the way in which you will be protected. Carefully follow. Ugra Rupa is the way by which you will be protected, not destroyed. Because divine knows only protection. Divine knows only protection. The law is kept to punish you, or is the law kept to protect you? Is the law to make life comfortable, or is law to make life miserable? Sir, today, 31st March, sir, India, isn't it? Subramaniam retired. Another March 31st, and he is free. Correct? Subramaniam, right? No? No. Otherwise, March 31st is the you. Now, today is the last day of filing. File பண்ணணும். Financial year is getting tax எல்லாம் போட போறாங்க. How much it is going to come, we don't know. Is it for your betterment, or is it to punish you? Is it to safeguard you, or is it to punish you? Through others' taxes, I should be safeguarded, but I should not be taxed. புரியுதா? கொளத்தூர், புரியுதா? Correct, sir. When everybody else should pay the tax, and through that I should be protected. How I should be protected? Government should send me an exemption letter. What? You don't have to pay taxes. So I don't have to pay taxes, and everybody has to pay taxes. In that way, both are protected. Huh? Whosoever pays, they are protected. Whosoever doesn't pay, they will not be protected. Where is the difficulty? You follow? In every aspect of life, we don't understand law is there for our protection, isn't it? Because we don't understand the law, we think we are being punished. Ugra Rupa is a symbolic representation of what now? Graphic description. Symbolic means graphic. Graphic description of the violators of law will be protected through punishment. Those who obey the law will be protected by the law itself. You follow? Ugra Rupa, Arjuna is saying, and then he is asking this question. What is the question that he is asking? Who are you? What are you? Etc. What does the world deserve? How you should look at the world? Remove the Ragadvesha, I said. Then how you should look at the world? The world should be looked reverentially, as each and every aspect of the world is divine functioning. That's the right way. That is the right way of looking at the world. But again, you cannot, class after class, I'll make the same statement, class after class, the same question also will come. What? But sir, how to see a terrorist like that? How to see a rapist like that? How to see this fellow like that? How to see that fellow like that? You follow? Objectivity means an acceptance of creation and destruction. Everybody follow? Objectivity is an acceptance. Acceptance of what? The wonderful and the terrible. Creation and destruction. Arjuna is asking, you are supposed to be a compassionate God, but you are, instead of a compassionate God, you are a munching God. Because he is munching, isn't it? Munchin, isn't it? Correct, no? Munch is the right word. Huh? He's going on. Yeah. Like chewing the mud, he's using our heads, isn't it? Going on, chewing, munching. And who is he munching? Bhishmancha, Dronancha, Jayatradancha, Karnancha. All he's being munched. Bhishma, Drona, Jayatrada, Karna. And then after munching, what did he do? Oh, நல்ல taster this, isn't it? After munching, oh God, that is the last point that is incredible, that is impossible to, crushing is also to an extent acceptable. After that, very nice. Oh, how to even understand that? How do you even understand that? Exactly who you are, exactly what are you doing. Previously, I thought this is what you are. What I thought you are, compassionate, loving, blah, blah, whatever it is. Now I am seeing you doing, now the question, what is the question that he's asking? Now exactly tell me who you are. Krishna himself gives an answer for that. Yes.
Human beings faith
The question, does human beings have faith or not? In the initial stages, no. In the initial stages, it's only samshaya. There's no faith. Faith requires lot of maturity, lot of tapas, lot of understanding. Faith requires lot of tapas, lot of maturity, lot of understanding. Faith is required. I'm using faith in the sense of Shraddha. Do people have faith in God? Do people have faith in God? Yes or no? The way they behave looks like they don't have faith in God. The truth is they don't have. The truth is they don't have faith. What is the proof? What is the proof? The dirtiest places are the temples, isn't it? The dirtiest places are the temples are the dirtiest place. Even in the house, we don't want to throw things around. No, we don't want to. Okay, in the house, will we eat and just throw the paper out and walk out? Even in the house, we don't do that, isn't it? I go to the temple, and temple is the place where God is residing, isn't it? Now, how much of reverence I should have? What is the proof of reverence? Not prostrating to God is not the proof of reverence. What is the proof of reverence? How I take care of it, isn't it? So, millions come, lakhs come, isn't it? Lakhs come. They say 8 lakhs, 10 lakhs in one night. How? Next morning you go and see. You can't walk anywhere. Now, do they have faith in God or not? From one angle, otherwise, why will they come, sir? Otherwise, you follow? Do they have faith in God? Otherwise, why will they come? No, they are coming because of a partial understanding, which is misunderstanding. What is a partial understanding, misunderstanding? I come, I prostrate, throw a dirt and go. God will still bless me. Supposing if the person thinks, sitting here, I'll close my eyes and pray. I don't want to come and dirty your place. God will protect. Are you able to understand the difference? They come, they have a partial understanding. That partial understanding is a very refined way of saying misunderstanding. You follow? Therefore, without proper study of the Shastras, the scriptures, and obviously, whenever we say proper study of the Shastras, obviously it is meant under the Guru. You don't pick up that. We don't have to go on repeating it. It is implied that you read it under the Guru. You understand it, then faith comes. Are you able to follow? It is through tapas, study, reflection, understanding only faith comes. Otherwise, it's a superstition. Otherwise, it is just mere superstition. Second, crisis will take your faith away. You follow what I'm saying? Crisis will take your faith away. It means a fellow will say, oh, I visited all the temples in this country I visited. Why did this happen to me? God will come and say, you visited all the temples because you had nothing else to do in life. Maybe you are visiting. How does that mean that I'm going to protect you? Even if you don't visit a temple also, you will still be protected. Are you able to follow? Therefore, does a human being have faith? No. Faith comes through proper study of the Shastras under a competent Guru, followed by tapas. Shravana, Manana, tapas. Only when this is done rightly, Shraddha will come. What is Shraddha? Like Prahlada, you will walk. Like Prahlada, you will walk towards the Ghora Rupa also. That is faith. You follow? When everybody saw Ghora Rupa, Prahlada didn't see Ghora Rupa. You follow? Did Prahlada have dvesha towards his father? Actually speaking, he is all according to the modern day constitution, he is fully entitled and he is fully under his legal rights to have 100% hatred towards his father. Correct? Arbitration, who will be proven wrong? Vijayarangan. Arbitration, yaar wrong nu prove Hiranyakashipu, isn't it? So it is all legitimately right for Prahlada to have dvesha towards Hiranyakashipu. But Prahlada didn't have hatred towards Hiranyakashipu. Therefore, Narsimha wasn't a Gora Rupa for him. Are you able to follow? Narsimha wasn't a Gora Rupa for him. Why? Because he didn't have hatred. How can you not have hatred to the one who has harmed you? How can you not have hatred towards one who harms others, sir? I am not harmed, sir, but somebody is harming somebody. How can I not have hatred? Wherever you see a wrong action, a sinful action, first question that you have to ask yourself is what? Am I guilty of sinning? Am I guilty of sinning? All human beings sin differently. Remember this. All human beings sin differently. Because they are sinning differently, you can't have hatred. Are you able to follow? All human beings sin. Only difference is what? Kulatur. Difference in everybody sins differently. If somebody is gluttoning, yeah, somebody is gluttonous, somebody is misbehaving, but all human beings sin. Second, the sin is because of what? The sin is because of ignorance. So if you have to hate the sin, what you should actually hate? What you should hate? The sin. What is the cause of sin? Ignorance. And you should hate ignorance. But we will hate the sinner and be comfortable with ignorance. That's what Christ says. Hate the sin and not the sinner. But we'll be comfortable sinning, but want to massacre the sin. Dvesha is meaningless because somebody is sinning differently, you don't develop dvesha. Are you able to follow? So, only when this kind of maturity comes, faith in the divine. Faith in the divine means what? Faith in God means what? Whatsoever happens is good. That is faith in divine. Faith in divine is what? Whatsoever happens is good. A person is burnt alive. Good. Raped. Good. Tsunami. Good. Army. Bombing. Good. Faith in divine means what? Faith in divine means what? Good only. This is good. I don't understand how it is good. Again, I repeat, it is good only. Are you able to follow? Only thing is what? I don't understand how it is good. But your ego says, if you don't understand, then it's not good. Are you able to follow? Your ego says, if I can't understand, obviously it's bad only. Because you have already predetermined what is good. You have already predetermined what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong, isn't it? That's why when we discuss dharma, we give this definition, no? You know perfectly what to expect from the world. 50% you are right. Where you are wrong, 50%. You refuse to accept, the world also expects the same from you. Are you able to follow? Again, I repeat. You know perfectly what to expect. 50% you know how everybody should behave, what they should do, what they should not do, how they should understand, how they should not understand. From your side, you are very clear. But what you cannot accept, where we all fail, unfortunately, the world also expects us to behave in the same manner. I don't behave in that manner, but I expect the others to behave. Are you able to follow? Therefore, hatred comes from where? Faith goes. When does faith go? When crisis comes. Faith goes when crisis comes. How to have faith? Not partial reading of the Shastras, not selective reading of the Shastra. Not partial reading, not selective reading. What you should do? You should do it rightly. What is partial understanding of the Shastra is what? New Year countdown, isn't it? New Year countdown, they say, no? 9, 8, 7, and then it strikes 12, and the 12, 1, I don't know what it strikes, because I was never awake at that time to have known it. So when it strikes, the whole lot goes into celebration, isn't it? The whole lot goes into, countdown means dying. Something is dying, isn't it? They don't see that. Partial understanding. Are you able to follow? Faith means what? Faith means acceptance of both. Second, how acceptance means what is happening is good only. You don't have the maturity to understand it. That is faith. What is the definition of faith? Whatsoever is happening is good only. You don't have the maturity to understand it. Therefore, the difficulty is where in your understanding. Are you able to follow? But people don't see it like that. They don't see it like that. They lack in this faith. Are you able to follow? They lack in this faith. Maternity ward, people are waiting outside. Cremation ground, maternity ward, people are waiting outside. Cremation ground, you don't even want to go there. Even if you go there, you want to run away from there, isn't it? Are you able to follow? Faith means what? Maternity ward is good. Burial ground is also good. But sir, burial ground at 90, 95 when all the organs are not functioning and everybody wants you to die and then dying is okay. But somebody dying at young age, how can that be good, sir? Are you able to follow? How can that be good? Faith means whatever is happening good, you are not able to understand the goodness in that. You follow? But sir, if we keep thinking like that, but we should also, our duty is to fight for dharma and all the other people we should campaign start பண்ணணும்ல, அதுக்கு ஒரு வாட்ஸ்அப் குரூப் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணணும், அதுக்கு ஒரு கேம்பெயின் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணணும், ஃபேஸ்புக் போஸ்ட் பண்ணணும், இன்ஸ்டாவில் போடணும், isn't it? நியூஸ் பேப்பர் அட்வர்டைஸ்மெண்ட் கொடுக்கணும், isn't it? For which Vedanta turns back and says what? What is the answer for that? What is the answer for that? What is the answer for that? If you have an element of dvesha somewhere in general, carefully follow. If you have an element of dvesha somewhere, not specifically, some aspect of dvesha is there in you, it means you don't have the qualification to, you are not qualified to do all this. You just have to, what you have to do? Correct. Zip your mouth. But sir, wrong things will happen, and if I stay quiet, I'm also being a party to that, because not fighting against it also is a tactic and in support of the tactical supporting, indirect supporting. No sir. In the legality terms, in dharma doesn't worry about your legal terms. Dharma doesn't worry about your court and law and your Facebook posting. Dharma doesn't worry. Dharma worries about what? Dharma worries about what? Dharma, God faith varadu kuda relatively easy. Compassionate God, protective God nenichikalam. But to have faith in dharma is, to have faith in God is also relatively easy. But faith in dharma is almost impossible. Are you able to follow? Why? Lack of understanding. Lack of understanding means selective reading the Shastras and not doing tapas. Right understanding means complete reading of the Shastras and doing tapas. Are you able to follow?
So during a crisis, when you say the faith goes, it's the selective faith that goes.
What faith goes in crisis? The partial understanding is, you get exposed to your partial understanding. Crisis itself you experience. Remember chapter 2? How can you get dejected? What is the statement he said? One of the, some of the revolutionary statements he makes only in chapter 2. That's explanation. One of the revolutionary statements. Some statements he makes in chapter 2. Beautiful statement. Kshudram hridaya daurbalyam tyaktotishta parantapa. How can you get dejected? That too in a crisis. No, crisis the dejection karaname. He's saying, how can you get dejected in a crisis? Extraordinary statement. Another revolutionary statement he makes in the middle of when he's introducing the Sankhya Yoga. Though killing, you will not incur sin, Arjuna. God, who can make this kind of, though killing your own guru, you will not incur sin. Sir, I want to kill my guru. Commissioner, don't try all this. Yeah. Don't try all this now. You follow? Though killing, you will not incur sin. Now, my God, what a level of understanding. Another revolutionary statement. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. The doer doesn't determine the result. What will motivate you to do anything after that? You follow? The karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Your adhikara is in the doing only. Result I decide. Abdina, doer doesn't determine the result. Then what will motivate you to do doing after that? And then we'll talk about sincere doing, dedicated doing, karma yoga, blah, 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 blah. But all that is very irritating because the starting point is very clear. What? With all this, if I do, Krishna, then result comes, no? Aha. With all this you do. That doesn't mean result will come. Na? What will you feel like doing? What shraddha you will have? What faith you will have? Are you able to follow? Beautiful this is. Shraddha in dharma. Shraddha in dharma comes through. Shraddha in dharma comes through proper study and tapas. To do tapas and proper study, tapas, etc., where do you get the motivation from? Yadyatacharati sreshtah tattateva idarajanah sayat pramanam kurute lokas tadanu vartate. That is why the great ones will be doing tapas constantly. They'll be doing tapas constantly. They keep doing tapas. Why? Because it is through tapas. It is through tapas you get. It is through tapas you can inspire a person to come into study and do tapas. Out of love and compassion for the others, they keep doing tapas. You follow the sequence? Tapas. Beautiful, extraordinary human beings they are. Because of very few like that still existing, we are all sitting here blessed. Clear? Because of a few like that existing, air conditioned room lo ukandan maayanu pesinu irukurom. Can there be more hypocritical than this? Air conditioned room, Maya, don't get affected. We are sitting and talking. Why? Because somewhere 2-3 fellows are still sitting and doing tapas. You follow? That is. So, where do you get inspiration to do study and tapas? By looking at those who are leading a life of tapas. That's why you have to have lot of love and affection towards the other to do tapas. You do tapas for your own benefit. You do tapas for loka sangraha. You should have, unless you have love for the other, you cannot do tapas. You follow what I am saying? That's how it goes. That's why he says in the chapter 3, verse number 21, Yadyat acharati. That life of achara, that life of dharma, how under any circumstances, how under whatsoever the circumstances is, how they stood strong, how they stood strong, and how they are able to hold, themselves. You do namaskara to that. Because inspiration, motivation comes from where? It comes from that it comes. You follow? Are you okay?
So that faith, you lose faith in God is your partial understanding is revealed to you.
Yes.
But you are partially understanding.
Correct. Crisis is good for you. Because crisis reveals that you have been misunderstanding all the time. அதுக்கு தான் crisis கூட we say thank you. Are you able to follow? Raj. Even to crisis, you say thank you, because if not for this crisis, you would have been thinking Shankaracharya will appear like your distant cousin, no? Isn't it? Because this crisis happened, you knew what? Or step கூட இன்னும் எடுத்து வைக்கல, isn't it? Not even a step has been taken. Crisis reveals it. Crisis exposes. That's why, is this crisis good or bad? Is crisis good or bad? Oh, good. Namaskaram Pandra. Abba, thank God the crisis came. That's what Kunti did. That's what Kunti did. Krishna, crisis illana, I'm forgetting you. So bless me that crisis will come again and again to me. For everybody, Krishna asked everybody, what boon you want, what boon you want, what you want. And everybody asked one thing, he kept on, yeah. Somebody said, get me an iPhone. He got an iPhone. Another said, get me one MacBook. Another said, get me a car. Whatever everybody, he kept on, tatastu, granted, given, everything given. Isn't it? Kunti turn came. What do you want? Aunt, no? Kunti is his aunt. Yeah. Attai. So he asked, what do you want, aunt? Sorrow visit me again and again and again. Krishna didn't say tatastu. He smiled and moved to the next person. Why? Because the way that you are living life, it will come again and again and again. No need to bless you for that. Yeah. So he didn't say tatastu for the beautiful story. The clue they keep in the stories is so wonderful. He didn't say tatastu. He moved to he just smiled and moved to the next person. As you are today, if you continue to be so in future, crisis will come again. இதே மாதிரி நாளைக்கு அடுத்த ஜென்மா 100 ஜென்மாஸ் லேட்டர் அப்படியே இருந்தா எப்படி இருக்கும்? What will come? Crisis only will come. Therefore, crisis is also good because it reveals it reveals your misunderstanding. சரியா? Kulattur, you have something to ask? Answered,
Answers.
பயந்துட்டாரு இல்லையா? Answered. You follow? Spirituality or maturity or Shraddha is an acceptance of both. You understand both. You understand both. But the one will not be blindfolded excitement, another will not be blindfolded rejection. Both you accept. Are you able to follow? That's what I said. Is body an asset or a liability?
Both.
Life should have only maternity wards, sir. No cremation at all should happen. Or cremation should happen, but I will decide when cremation should happen. Did you decide your birth? Or you to decide the death of others? Can you decide your death? Yeah, you can't decide your death. You can't decide your birth. But you know which birth is good and which death is good. You know when people should be born, and you also know when people should. What is maturity and acceptance? You follow? In the wonderment form of God is maternity ward. Destructive form of God is cremation. Yeah. That's why Shiva's favorite place is, because destructive God maternity ward la enna பண்ணுவார், isn't it? So Shiva will always sit where அவருக்கு ரெண்டே பிளேஸ் தான். ஒன்னு மவுண்ட் கைலாஷ்ல மேல போய் உட்கார்ந்துக்கிறார், where nobody can come, or he sits in Smashana where everybody is frightened to come. Yeah. Look at the two places he lives. Either he lives on Arunachala hairnale breathlessness ஆவருது. இங்க இந்த கைலாஷ் போறது, isn't it? அருணாச்சல இஸ் a boulder, isn't it? அது ராக், அது மவுண்டன் கூட கிடையாது, ஹில்லு கூட கிடையாது. கைலாஷோட கம்பேர் பண்ணா இந்த அருணாச்சல இஸ் a boulder. அதுக்கே ஸ்வெட்டிங் அண்ட் breathless and go at this time, before you come out this time, what all instructions was given, when to go, when not to go, what to do, what not to do. ஒரு போல்டருக்கே, isn't it? Because he goes and hides himself there. Yes, either Shiva sits Kailash or he sits in Smashana. Maturity is you celebrate, maturity is you celebrate the birth and you celebrate the death. You celebrate the good and you celebrate the bad. It means your life is a series of celebration. That is dharma. What is dharmic life? Life will be a series of celebrations irrespective of whatsoever situation you are placed in. That is dharma. Irrespective of whatsoever situation you are placed in, you will be, that is called dharma. With this, we conclude for today. Narayana.
There is a clarification by Mala. She has posted.
Oh, okay. Narayana. Open Narayana first. I will come to Mala. Yes, Narayana.
Sir, with all this information, whatever we discussed in the class, I accept both pain and happiness.
Yes.
Is it okay accepting and then wish and expecting wishing good things to happen? I mean, the positive side.
Yes. On the positive, the question that Narayana is asking is, based on all that we have said, I understand good and both. I understand, accept good and both happens. What I should wish for in the positivity of life. From the positivity of life, what I should wish for? Narayana. Positivity of life means pray to give strength to be dharmic. That is positivity. Positivity doesn't come from situations. Positivity comes from dharma. Remember this, positivity is not situations. Some situation is not a positive situation. Some situation is not a negative situation. Therefore, if at all you want positivity to happen, pray to become dharmic. Pray that whatsoever situation it is, your conviction in dharma should be unwavering. Pray for that, then positivity will happen. You follow? Or if at all you want positivity, this is only, what is only positivity? According to Krishna, according to Vedanta, the only positivity is dharma. You follow? Dharma. Is it okay? Narayana?
Yes, sir.
So I don't deliberately wish for positive situation to happen.
Okay.
I pray for dharma. That's all. I pray for dharma. Okay, va? Mala. What is Mala asking? Namaste, sir. Okay. I have a doubt. I have a doubt in, within quotes. That's the question now. Accepting the law and say, I am nothing to do with it, is the statement. Question. If a problem happens in the family, society, etc., and if I do nothing in expressing my opposition, could this not lead to the problem persisting? I agree that I should not change the person, but express my non-acceptance peacefully. Is the latter disobeying the law of disobeying the laws? The answer to this question is this. This is the answer to the question. The question that she is asking is this. If I see a wrong thing, if I do nothing in expressing my opposition, Could this not lead to the problem persisting? Are you able to follow? Problem persisting, the same person will continue to do the same thing again and again and again. No. Could this not lead to the problem persisting? What is the answer? If anybody in this classroom, including Mala, the speaker, if there is anybody in this classroom who really want some benefit to happen to the others, who really want some way of helping the other, what is the way? What is the way? There's only one way. What is that only way? Yadyat acharati. You live that life. You live a life of achara. That's all. You live a life of dharma and you live a life of achara. That is the only way in which the other will be benefited. Are you able to follow? By you trying to if I don't do anything, sir, the bad person will continue to be bad, and that person will hurt more people. That person will harm more people. Therefore, isn't it part of my obligation to correct the wrong also? Isn't it part of my obligation to correct the wrong? Yes, it is your obligation to correct the wrong. Answer. Isn't it your obligation to correct the wrong? The answer is yes. It is your obligation to correct the wrong. What is the methodology of correction? What is the methodology of correction? Are you able to follow? Yes, you have to correct. It's part of your obligation. We are not denying that. Vedanta is not saying. Vedanta is saying it is part of your obligation to help the other. What is the methodology of helping the other? Ingada, we make a mistake. In the methodology only, we make the mistake. The mistake that we make in methodology is what? If you have to help the other, if you have to change the other, you should be able to inspire the other. If a change has to happen, you should be able to inspire. When will you be able to inspire? Only when you live a life of dharma. So, if you could this not lead to the problem persisting? If I am genuinely concerned about the problem not persisting and they should be helped, yes, it's your obligation. The problem in Vedanta is the methodology of Vedanta is non-acceptable. Again, I repeat. The problem in Vedanta is the methodology of Vedanta is not acceptable. What is the methodology of Vedanta? If a problem happens, if somebody is not obeying the law, and if you have to change them, the only thing that you have to do is what? You live with that life. You should be able to inspire the other. If you have to help somebody, always remember this, Mala. If you have to help somebody, you should be able to inspire the other. How you can inspire the other? Motivational speech gurta inspiration varma. That's called Purana Vairagya. Motivational speech gurta half an hour virukum. You follow? How do you inspire the other? By motivational talks? By giving discourses? By teaching? No. The only way to inspire the other is by you living a life of tapas. Express your non-acceptance peacefully by living the opposite way of life. Correct. Accept, you don't, you express that what they are doing is wrong. How do you express that what they are doing is wrong? How do you express that? You live an opposite life. Are you able to follow? If you have to live an opposite life, that is inner strength. And that inner strength is what is going to help, is what will motivate the other. Are you able to follow? Lastly, Mala, remember this. Helping the other is running a marathon. Remember this. We don't have strength to run a marathon. If you want to help somebody, that person is your lifetime commitment. It's not that you give a few, it's not that you give two lectures, three things, four things, a short-term association and all. If you want to help somebody, helping somebody means running a marathon. And if you have to run a marathon, you need extraordinary strength and energy. But people lack that strength and energy. They are all so superficial. We get so superficially excited and we get tired also very fast. Because we get superficially excited, we get tired very fast. So what is the right way? If you want to help somebody, gather strength. Because helping somebody is a marathon. Marathon means that person will still go through a few ups and downs. And you have to travel with that person in both their ups and downs and still continue to help. It is a marathon. We don't understand all that. We think helping the other means giving them one. The other person will say, yes, I have understood. And go back and change immediately. It doesn't work like that. You follow what I'm saying? Is the latter disobeying the law? Yes. You are pained at them disobeying the law and you want them to obey the law. And how do you make them obey the law? You inspire them. You inspire them. You follow? If at all punishment should happen, through punishment alone that person will change, that you leave it to divine to take care. You follow? You do tapas. If that also is not helping the other to change, it means the other person can change only through punishment, and that also you don't do that. That you leave it to the divine to take care. You say, Paritrānāya sadhūnām vināṣāya ca duṣkritāṃ dharma samsthāpanārthāya sambhavāmi yuge yuge. You take care. That you leave it to the divine. Why that aspect of punishment you leave it to the divine? Because you still have lot of dvesha hidden in you. And your dvesha nature will continue to flourish through that. Why? Because you still have lot of dvesha in you and your dvesha nature will continue to flourish, justifying dharma now. Your dvesha will have a justification now. That is harmful to you. Don't do that. Clear? That's all. With this, yes.
So to sum up, what you are saying is, from my side, I can control me by living a dharmic way of living. And with reference to other, I can always have a prayerful thought, praying for the others, like chanting Gayatri. So by living this in these two ways,
Yes.
you can always help oneself and the other.
Yeah. She's not asking a question, she is summarizing the understanding. So the summary is correct. First is you live a dharmic life. Second is part of your obligation is to help the other. And in order to help the other, you should be able to inspire the other. How can you inspire the other? Only when you live a dharmic life. In spite of your dharmic life, and if the other is not getting inspired to change, then they have to go through even then you don't do anything, leave it to the divine. Leave it to the divine. You follow? With this, we conclude for today. We continue.